So the question is, how Jerusalem could be the mother of Yahushua? How Jerusalem could be the woman? Jerusalem is a city, right? So how Jerusalem could be that woman? How we can understand this from the word of YaHuWaH? And in order to do that, we need to talk about a tale of two women. And we see foreshadows in the word of YaHuWaH about two women. There is a specific foreshadow that is talking about stories about two women and how this is applicable amazingly to understand how Jerusalem is the woman, is the mother. Okay? So we know that YaHuWaH declares the end from the beginning, so we need to go through the different foreshadows and the different patterns of this tale of two women. And this is a so important topic about the tale of two women, because I will share more about that later in another study. We're going to cover only a part in this video of this tale of two women. The other one will come in a later study. So let's take a look in the foreshadow. So the first tale of two women, we have it in the story of Sarah and Hagar. Okay, and why this is so important? Because we see two women there. Through one was the promised seed, the seed of Abraham that is gonna the seed that's gonna bless the entire nations. So we see the two women, and there is a specific aspect there that I'm gonna highlight in a moment. The second tale of two women, we see it in the story of Rachel, and Leah. And this is so important because through Rachel, through Rachel, who was born? Joseph. And actually, why this is so important? Because Joseph is a foreshadow of the Mashiach. Is a foreshadow of a Melech, a king. Because Joseph became almost to be a king in the land of Mizraim. So this is important because we see here the tale of two women, and through a specific one, we see that is coming the promised child, the promised seed. This is quite important because we already saw the promise of a child, and we see here the patterns in this tale of two women. Okay, and the third one we have it in Hannah and Penina. Who is Hannah? Is Anna, the mother of the prophet Shemuel, the Shofet, the judge. And Penina was the second wife of Elkanah. And why this is so important? Because again we see the same foreshadow and the same pattern. Through Hannah, the promise of a child. And actually, if you review, and we did it in one of the studies of the death, burial, and resurrection of Yahushua, the prayer of Hannah, how this is so connected to the promise of Yahushua, the Messiah, the Mashiach. We see here that through Hannah, there was a promise of a child. In this case was Shemuel. And Shemuel is a foreshadow of a Shofet, of a judge, the role of Yahushua as judge of all the earth. So we see that through this tale of two women, we see the foreshadows of the promised child that we already reviewed. This promised child is Yahushua in the promise to Abraham through Sarah, the seed that is going to bless the entire world. Through Rachel, that is the role of Melech, or king of Yahushua. And through Hannah, the role of judge over all the earth. But the interesting thing, and this is gonna be something when I saw it, it blew my mind, and I think it's gonna happen also for you somehow, because in this pattern we see a common thing in these three women, in Sarah, in Rachel, and in Hannah. The three of them were barren women. They were not able to have children. They were barren. But anyway, the promise of YaHuWaH was through them, in order to bring forth the promised child. And why this is so important? Because we are going to talk now about the barren woman. We saw, and I told you, this is the tale of two women. And the story of Sarah and Hagar, the story of Rachel and Leah, the story of Hannah and Peninnah are foreshadow of the woman of Revelation 12, are foreshadow of Jerusalem. And where we can see this about the barren woman, and this is in the book of YaHuWaH, chapter 54. YaHuWaH, chapter 54. And this is so amazing. We will read it from the verse 1 to the 17. Okay? So it says, sing, O barren one. She is talking about a barren woman. Sing, O barren one, you who did not bear. Break forth into singing and cry aloud, you who have not been in labor. You remember, Zion, Jerusalem was not in labor, but she gave birth to the child. You need to start doing these connections, connecting these keys, because that's the only way to understand the truth of YaHuWaH. You have not been in labor, for the children of the deserted one are more than the children of the married woman, said YaHuWaH. So here we see again the tale of two women, the deserted one and the married one. And the deserted one is a barren woman. Let's continue, it's going to be more clear. Verse 2, enlarge the place of your tent, and let them stretch out the curtains of your dwellings. Spare not. Lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes, for you shall break forth to the right and to the left, and your seed inherit the nations, and make the deserted cities inhabited. It's talking about land. It's talking about cities. It's talking about the land being expanded. It's talking about the seed of the woman, the barren woman. That seed is going to inherit the nations. We see the connection with Yahushua and the promise to the seed of the woman as well. Let's continue. Verse 4. Do not fear, for you shall not be put to shame, not hurt. You shall not be humiliated. For the shame of your youth you shall forget, and not remember the reproach of your widowhood anymore. But let me highlight something here. Let me read it again. Do not fear, for you shall not be put to shame, not hurt. And you remember that the woman of Revelation 12 is going to be protected. The dragon cannot do anything to her. The woman is protected in the same way that we see here the promise, that the woman, the barren woman, do not need to fear. Because for you shall not be put to shame, nor hurt. The woman is not be hurt. For the shame of your youth should forget, and not remember the reproach of your widowhood anymore. Verse 5. And this is so important because it's something that we already discussed when we were speaking about the sons of Elohim and the father and the woman having a relationship, saying, for your maker is your husband. YaHuWaH of hosts, YaHuWaH Sebaot, is his name. And the set apart one of Israel is your Redeemer. He is called the Elohim of all the earth. YaHuWaH Eloheinu is the husband of the barren woman. Okay? So there is a relationship. The woman is YaHuWaH's wife. So maybe you are wondering, but Israel is the wife of YaHuWaH. Yes, that's true, and this is part of the mystery. Because we see here that the barren woman is referring to the wife of YaHuWaH as well. So let's continue just to see here directly in this chapter. Who is this barren woman? Okay. Verse 6. For YaHuWaH has called you like a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, like a wife of youth when you were refused, declares your Elohim. For a little while I have forsaken you, but with great compassion I shall gather you. In an overflow of wrath I hid my face from you for a moment. It's talking that he's going to hid his face during his wrath for a moment, but after that It's just his wrath is going to be a moment, but after that, he's going to have compassion on the woman again. But with everlasting loving commitment, I shall have compassion on you, said YaHuWaH, your Redeemer. YaHuWaH is the Redeemer of the woman. This is also important to understand why this woman needs to be redeemed. Very important, and this is the part that we will discover when we talk about the tale of two women, the second part. Let's continue verse 9. For this is the waters of Noah to me, Noah, in that I have sworn that the waters of Noah could never again come cover the earth. So I have sworn not to be wroth with you, nor to rebuke you. So amazing. For though the mountains be removed and the hills be shaken, my loving commitment is not removed from you, nor is my covenant of peace shaken, said YaHuWaH, who has compassion on you. Hallelujah. O you afflicted one, tossed with storm, and not comforted, see, I am setting your stones in antimony. And put attention very much on this, because this description will reveal to us who is this barren woman. This barren woman that is the wife of YaHuWaH. O you afflicted one, tossed one with storm and not comforted, see, I am setting your stones in antimony, and shall lay your foundation with sapphires, and shall make your battlements of rubies, your gates of crystal, and all your walls of precious stones, and all your children taught by YaHuWaH, and the peace of your children great. Have you read this description in other places? I have read this description in other places. It's talking about the New Jerusalem. If you read the description of the New Jerusalem in Hasson, Revelation chapter 21, you will see exactly the same thing. But let's continue, we will read it. It says, and all your children taught by YaHuWaH, and the peace of your children great. Verse 14, in righteousness you shall be established, far from oppression, for you shall not fear, and far from ruin, for it does not come near you. See, they shall indeed assemble, but not because of me. Whoever shall assemble against you falls for your sake. See, I myself have created the blacksmith, who blows the coals in the fire, who brings forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall prove wrong. This is the inheritance of the servants of YaHuWaH, and the righteousness from me, declares YaHuWaH. So we see the entire description. The barren woman, the woman is the wife of YaHuWaH, and this barren woman is Jerusalem. And we see here the description of Jerusalem. And let's take a look in the book of Hasson very quick. I didn't have this in my notes, but we will read it anyway. So this is in Hasson, Revelation chapter 21, verse 10. And he carried me away in the Ruach to a great and high mountain, and showed me the great city, the Kodesh Jerusalem, descending out of the Shamayim from Elohim, having the esteem of Elohim, and her light was like a most precious stone, like the jasper stone, clear as crystal, and having a great and high wall, having 12 gates, and at the gates 12 messengers, and the name written of them, which are those of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. The 3 gates on the east, 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, and so on. So we see the entire description here of the New Jerusalem being with crystals and a lot of things. It's the same description that we see in Yeshayahu when he's talking about the barren woman. But there is another witness that is giving us the key, and in a so clear way. And this we find that just to understand that the barren woman is the Jerusalem. And this is by the words of Shaul. This is in the book of Galatians. Let's go and take a look. Galatians chapter 4, verse 19 to 27. It says, "My little children, for whom I'm again in birth pains until Mashiach is formed in you." Do you think it's a coincidence that YaHuWaH is saying, referring this here about the birth pains? I don't think so. This is also an indication that he's given to us that everything that he's going to describe is talking about the woman. Okay, let's continue. "Even now I wish to be present with you now and to change my voice, for I have doubts about you. Say to me, though you who wish to be under Torah, do you not hear the Torah?" And we need to understand here that when he's talking about that those that wish to be under Torah are the people that wanted to be under the Judaism, under the oral Torah, the oral traditions of the elders, and the Torah of YaHuWaH. Those are the people that what Shaul is referring to. "For it has been written that Abraham had two sons, one by a female servant, the other by a free woman." You remember the foreshadow of the tale of the two women. He's talking about that. "But he who was of the female servant was born according to the flesh, and he of the free woman through promise." You remember that we discussed already about the promise of a child, and also when we review about that we also are the sons of Elohim. It says, and it is written, "It's not through the desire of woman, flesh, blood of man. It's solely through the desire of YaHuWaH. It's through a promise." This is what Shaul is talking about. 24. "This is allegorical, for these are the two covenants, one indeed from Mount Sinai, which brings forth slavery, which is Hagar." Why it brings forth slavery? We will see later. And actually the answer is coming now. "For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and corresponds to Jerusalem, which now is, and is in slavery with her children." So this Hagar, or this Mount, or Hagar, basically this woman, is representing Jerusalem that is now is. Who or what is that Jerusalem? The physical Jerusalem in the times of Shaul. And why he's saying that it's in slavery? Because they were under the oppression of the Romans. But not only that, because they were under sin and under the penalty of death. That's why. And that's why we have the second covenant. Because through Yahushua we have the access to be part of the second covenant in order to be redeemed. That's what Shaul is talking about. But this is important because what is writing now in the 26 is the key to everything. "But the Jerusalem above is free, which is the mother of us all." He's talking about the new Jerusalem. He's talking about the tale of two women between Hagar and Sarah. Hagar being representing Jerusalem, the physical Jerusalem in slavery, and Sarah, from who is the promise of the child, is the new Jerusalem. And he's talking about that the new Jerusalem that is above in the Shamayim is free. And it's not only that, this Jerusalem is the mother of us all. The woman, the barren woman, is the new Jerusalem. And this new Jerusalem is the mother of us all. This is so important. And here in the verse 27 we have the confirmation. "For it has been written, rejoice, O barren, you who do not bear. Break forth and shout, you who do not have birth pains. For the deserted one has many more children than she who has husband." So this is the confirmation. Shaul is citing directly what we read in Yeshayahu chapter 54. So it's basically the tale of two women. And let me take a look at my notes here. When we talk about the tale of the two women, the first woman is the barren one is the new Jerusalem. And the second woman is the Jerusalem, the physical Jerusalem, the city that now is. And this is so important because we will expand the understanding, as I told you, of this study and this tale of two women when we share the study of who really Babel is. When we study about who is Babylon, we will continue with the tale of the two women, and we will understand how this tale of two women is going to help us to understand who is really Babylon, who is Babel. And as I told you, when we talk and the scripture talk about Babel, he's talking about two women as well. One is the mother and the other is the daughter. The daughter of Babylon, the daughter of Babel, and the great Babel, the great Babylon. So it's so important that we see here the witness of the scripture, the witness of the Debar of YaHuWaH, that this woman, the woman of Revelation 12, is Jerusalem, and specifically is the new Jerusalem. And also it's important, something that I need to highlight, that the new Jerusalem, the Jerusalem of the above, is following actually the pattern that we discussed at the beginning. The earthly things is a pattern of the heavenly. So the Jerusalem on the earth is a pattern of the Jerusalem on the Shamayim. So this pattern is very important to keep always on mind. So the question is, okay, if it's the woman, if it's Jerusalem, how a city can be the one going to the wilderness and be protected for 1260 days? We need to understand that in more details, and it's coming in a moment. But before that, I want to share with you more witnesses that the scripture is revealing to us the truth that Jerusalem is the woman in labor. So let's go to Micah. This is Micah chapter 4, verse 1 to 13. It's so amazing to study the Debar of YaHuWaH, because we can find just by reading the Debar of YaHuWaH, as I always have been telling you. We need to let the scripture to speak by itself, and just by reading we can see the truth. Every time that we try to understand and interpret using our own thoughts, we go astray. We don't understand. We get blind. So we need to let the scripture to speak alone. And that's the only way that we will understand the truth. So let's go to Micah chapter 4, verse 1 to 13. And this is so amazing because you will see the entire connection directly. And it says the following: and in the latter days, important, it's talking about the latter days, it shall be that the mountain of the house of YaHuWaH is established on the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow to it, and many nations shall come and say, come and let us go to the mountain of YaHuWaH, to the house of the Elohim of Yaakov, and let him teach us his ways, and let us walk in his paths. For out of Zion, and Zion is Jerusalem, comes forth the Torah, and we know that the Torah is the word of YaHuWaH as well, and the word of YaHuWaH from Jerusalem. We see the connection with everything that we have been studying so far and discovering so far. Everything is related to Jerusalem, to Zion. Verse 3: and he shall judge among many peoples, and reprove strong nations afar off. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither teach battle anymore. And this is so amazing because we see the connection with the book of Enoch. We know that it was the watchers, the one teaching the children of men about battle, about weapons, and about everything. So we see how YaHuWaH is going to remove all of that. He's going to bring his creation to the beginning. That's what he's doing. Okay? So, and actually we see the connection here that nation shall not lift up a sword against nation. And we see that part of what's going to happen on the end times, that nation will rise against nation. So YaHuWaH is talking to us, this is going to happen anymore. Let's continue, verse 4. But each one shall sit under his vine and under his fig tree, with no one to make them afraid, for the mouth of YaHuWaH Sebaot has spoken. For all the peoples walk, each one in the name of his mighty one. But we walk in the Shem, the name of YaHuWaH, our Elohim, forever and ever. That has been our answer. We are working in the name of YaHuWaH Sebaot, YaHuWaH, our Elohim, forever. In that day, declares YaHuWaH, I gather the lame, and I bring together the outcast of those whom I have afflicted. It's talking about those that are going to go through the Great Tribulation. And I shall make the lame a remnant, and the outcast a strong nation, the birth of a nation. And YaHuWaH shall reign over them in Mount Zion, from now on and forever. This is the moment that the woman is gonna give birth to the children. It's the moment that the nation is gonna birth. It's exactly that we read in Yeshayahu, Isaiah chapter 66. Is what we have the confirmation over here. Okay? So let's continue. Verse 8, and you, O tower of the flock, O stronghold of the daughter of Zion. We need to understand who is the daughter of Zion, who is the tower of the flock, who is the stronghold of the daughter of Zion. It shall come to you the former rule, shall come the reign of the daughter of Jerusalem. So is coming the rule to the daughter of Zion. And listen to this, verse 9. Now why do you cry aloud? Is there not sovereign in you? Has your counselor perished? Listen to this. For pain has gripped you like a woman in labor. Who is the woman in labor? The daughter of Zion. So we need to understand who is the daughter of Zion just to confirm that this is Jerusalem. Let's continue. Be in pain and deliver, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in labor. It's so amazing. It's giving us the answer. The Debar of YaHuWaH is giving us the answer of who is the woman. For now you are to leave the city, and you shall dwell in the field. You see, the woman going to the wilderness, going to the field, leaving the city, going to the field because it's going to be protected. For now you are to leave the city, and you shall dwell in the field, and you shall go to Babel. There you shall be delivered. There YaHuWaH shall redeem you from the hand of your enemies. It's going to be protected. YaHuWaH is going to redeem the woman from the hand of your enemies. And now many nations shall be gathered against you, who are saying, let her be defiled, and let our eyes look upon Zion. But they do not know the thoughts of YaHuWaH, nor do they understand his counsel. For he has gathered them like sheaves to the threshing floor. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I made your horn iron, and your hoofs bronze, and you shall beat many peoples into pieces, and I shall seclude their gain to YaHuWaH, and their wealth to the master of all the earth. We see the connection, we see the answer of YaHuWaH. The daughter of Zion is the woman in labor. And it's saying, be in pain, in the verse 10, and deliver of daughter of Zion, like a woman in labor. It says, for now you are to leave the city. Is the daughter of Zion, the woman in labor. So we need to understand who is the daughter of labor, the daughter of Zion. And we find the first witness. This is in the book of Yeshayahu. Who is the daughter of Zion or Zion? Yeshayahu, Isaiah chapter 10 verse 32. And this is so amazing. It says the following. Yet he remains at Nob that day. He shakes his fist at the mountains of the daughter of Zion, the hill of Jerusalem. Who is the daughter of Zion? The hill of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the daughter of Zion. Let's go to Yeshayahu 52 verse 1 to 15. Awake, awake, put on your strength, O Zion. Put on your garments of splendor, O Jerusalem. Zion and Jerusalem, the set apart city. For no more do the uncircumcised and the unclean come into you. Shake yourself from the dust, arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose yourself from the bones of your neck, O captive daughter of Zion. This is the answer. The daughter of Zion is Jerusalem. For thus said YaHuWaH, you have been sold for naught, and you are redeemed not with silver. For thus said the Master YaHuWaH, at first my people went down into Mizraim to yonder, and Ashur oppressed them without cause. And now, what have I where I hear, declares YaHuWaH, that my people are taken away for naught? Those who rule over them make them wail, declares YaHuWaH, and my name is despised all day continually. Therefore, my people shall know my name in that day, for I am the one who is speaking. See, it is I, YaHuWaH, speaking all of this. How pleasant upon the mountains are the feet of him who brings good news, who proclaims peace, who brings good news, who proclaims deliverance, who says to Zion, your Elohim reign, to Zion, to Jerusalem. The voice of your watchmen, they shall lift up their voices together. They shout for joy, because eye to eye they see the return of YaHuWaH to Zion. This is YaHuWaH returning to Zion through Yahushua, returning to the daughter of Zion, to Jerusalem. Break forth into joy, sing together, you waste places of Jerusalem, for YaHuWaH shall comfort his people. He shall redeem Jerusalem. You remember what we already read about this, the relationship with Jerusalem as his wife. YaHuWaH is Jerusalem Redeemer, and we see it again here. YaHuWaH shall lay bare his set-apart arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the deliverance of our Elohim. Turn aside, come out from there, touch not the unclean, come out of her midst. Be clean, you who bear the vessels of YaHuWaH. For you shall not come out in haste, nor go in flight, for YaHuWaH is going before you, and the Elohim of Israel is your rear guard. See, my servant shall work wisely, he shall be exalted and lifted up on every high. As many were astonished at you, so the disfigurement beyond any man's, and his form beyond the sons of men. He shall likewise startle many nations. It's talking about Yahushua. Sovereigns shut their mouth at him, for what had not been recounted to them, they shall see, and what they had not heard, they shall understand. We see the amazing connection. I decided to read it entirely because there are so many things about the end times and what's going to happen, how YaHuWaH is going to redeem Jerusalem. But the important point here is that we see here that the daughter of Zion is Jerusalem. And we see how Jerusalem, again, we see the witness of the Debar of YaHuWaH, that Jerusalem is the woman in labor. Let's go to Yeshayahu again, chapter 62. Verse 1 to 12, and it says, for Zion's sake I am not silent, and for Jerusalem's sake I do not rest, until her righteousness goes forth and brightness, and her deliverance as a lamp that burns. And the nations shall see your righteousness, and all sovereigns your esteem, and you shall be called by a new name, which the mouth of YaHuWaH designates. And this is important. This is the first time that I see it, and you will understand the connection. Jerusalem will receive a new name. This is what he's talking about now. And you shall be a crown of comeliness in the hand of YaHuWaH, and a royal headdress in the hand of your Elohim. No longer are you called forsaken, and no longer is your land called deserted. You remember, the barren woman is the deserted one with more children than the woman with a husband. But you shall be called Hephzibah, and your land married. For YaHuWaH shall delight in you, and your land be married. For as young man marries a maiden, so your sons marry you. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall your Elohim rejoice over you. I think there's an important connection here with Yahushua and the bride. And I know maybe you are wondering about the bride of the Lamb. We'll talk about it soon. I have set watchmen on your walls of Jerusalem. Everything that is talking here is about Jerusalem. All the day and all the night, continually, who are not silent. You who remember YaHuWaH, give yourself no rest, and give him no rest till he establishes, until he makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. YaHuWaH is redeeming Jerusalem again, and he's gonna give her a new name. YaHuWaH has sworn by his right hand and by the arm of his strength, no more do I give your grain to be food to your enemies, nor the sons of the foreigner drink your new wine, for which you have labored. Where are the places that we are gathering the new wine, the new grain, all the offerings? Is Jerusalem. That's what we see the commandment in the Torah. But those in the verse 9, for both those gathering it shall eat it and praise YaHuWaH, and those collecting it shall drink it in my set apart courts. Who are the ones collecting it? Are the priests, the Kohanim. That's why the Kohanim are the one eating it and drinking it in the set apart place. Pass through the gates, prepare the way for the people. Build up the highway, remove the stones, lift up a banner for the people. What people? The righteous nations. The righteous nation that is going to the promised land. See, YaHuWaH has proclaimed to the end of the earth. Say to the daughter of Zion, to Jerusalem, see, your deliverance has come. See, his reward is with him, and his work before him. And they shall be called the set apart people, the redeemed of YaHuWaH. And you, the woman, should be called sought out, a city nor forsaken. A city nor forsaken. Jerusalem is the woman in labor. Jerusalem is the daughter of Zion. Okay, so there we have the witnesses. So let's go to another witness just to confirm that the Jerusalem is the woman in labor. And this is in the book of Hosea. Hoseas. And this is gonna be maybe something new, because most of the understanding about this refers to the house of Israel, but you will see it more clearly, because that's the way that I was able to see it when I discovered this truth that the woman is Jerusalem. So this is Hosea, chapter 2, verse 1 and 2, and then we will jump to the 14 and the 23. Let's read it. It says, say to your brothers, O my people, you remember the brothers of the child, the brothers of Yahushua, and to your sisters, O compassionate one. Verse 2, strive with your mother, strive, for she is not my wife, nor am I her husband. Let her put away her whoring from her face, and her adulteries from between her breasts. Why so important? Because it's talking about a mother with childs that is not more the wife of the husband. And we saw this relationship between the father, YaHuWaH, and Jerusalem. We saw that in Yeshayahu chapter 24, Isaiah. So who are those childs that needs to strive with the mother? And we see the answer. This is in the chapter 1, you know. Let me read it for you. This is in the chapter 1 verse 2. It says, the beginning of the word of YaHuWaH with Hosea, and YaHuWaH said to Hosea, go take yourself a woman of whoring. So this woman is representing the same mother that we see in the chapter 2. And children of whoring, for the land has utterly whored again away from YaHuWaH. For he went and took Gomer, daughter of Diblaim, and she conceived and bore him a son. And YaHuWaH said to him, call his name Yisrael, for in a little while I shall revenge the bloodshed of Israel on the house of Jehu, and put an end to the reign of the house of Israel. So this son of this woman is the house of Israel. The house of Israel is not the mother. It's important to see it. And it shall be in that day that I shall break the bow of Israel in the valley of Israel. Verse 6, and she conceived again and bore a daughter. And he said to him, call her name Lo-Ruhamah, for no longer do I have compassion on the house of Israel, so as to forgive them at all. So again, this is the house of Israel. It's not the mother. It's not the woman. But I shall have compassion on the house of YaHuWaH, and save them by YaHuWaH their Elohim. Okay, so we see here that the woman is not the same as the house of YaHuWaH, is not the same as the children, and this is important. We will see it later in the study, and I told you this is going to be a long one. So let's continue in the chapter 2. We already saw that this mother is the woman, is not the children. So strive with your mother, strive, for she is not my wife. So let's skip to the verse 14, and this is important. But because it's talking about the mother, the woman, that is saying that it's not more my wife. And the 14 it says, therefore see, I am alluring her, and shall lead her into the wilderness, and shall speak to her heart, and give to her vineyards from there, and the valley of Ahor as a door of expectation. And there she shall respond as in the days of her youth, as in the day when she came up from the land of Mizraim. And to the 23, and it shall be in that day, declares YaHuWaH, that you shall call me my husband, and no longer call me by Baal. And I shall remove the names of the Baals from her mouth, and they shall not more be remembered by their name. And in that day I shall make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, and with the birds of the Shamayim, and with the creeping creatures of the ground. When bow and sword and battle I break from the earth, and I shall make them lie down in safety. This is exactly the same promises we already saw in the other witnesses. And I shall take you as a bride. You see the connection with the bride. Okay? I shall take you as a bride unto me forever, and take you as a bride unto me in righteousness, and in right rulings, mishpatim, and loving commitment and compassion. Verse 20, and I shall take you as a bride unto me in trustworthiness, and you shall know YaHuWaH. This is the relationship between YaHuWaH and his bride. New Jerusalem is the bride. And how we can see that? And actually, let me complete it before going there. And I shall take you as a bride unto me in trustworthiness, and you shall know YaHuWaH. And it shall be in that day that I answer, declares YaHuWaH, that I answer the heavens, and they answer the earth, and the earth answer the grain, and the new wine, and the old, and they answer Israel. And I shall sow her for myself in the earth, and I shall have compassion on her who had not obtained compassion. We already saw this in many witnesses in YaShayahu 66, and also in YaShayahu 54, that he's going to have compassion on Jerusalem again. And I shall say to those who were not my people, you are my people, while they say my Elohim. It's talking about the relationship between the woman and his people. There are two separate things, and we need to understand the difference. But who is the bride? And that's how we can understand this. He said, I shall take you as a bride forever. And this is in Hason, Revelation chapter 21. Maybe you know this by heart, but let's read it. And we are going to read just one. It's 21 verse 2. And I, Yehohanan, saw the set apart city, renewed Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of the Shamayim from Elohim, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So, who is the bride? Who is this woman? Who is the mother that is talking in Hosea chapter 2? Is the bride, is the new Jerusalem, is Jerusalem that he is redeeming. Jerusalem. That's why is coming a new Jerusalem. Okay? So this is so important. And the next witness we have here is in the book of YaHuWaH, chapter 49. And this is so amazing. YaHuWaH, chapter 49, verse 13 to 26. 13 to 26. And it's important to understand the context of what is he talking about here. And you will see it, who is he talking about. So it says, "Sing, O Shemaim, rejoice, O earth, and break out in singing, O mountains. For YaHuWaH shall comfort his people and have compassion on his afflicted ones. But Zion says, YaHuWaH has forsaken me, and YaHuWaH has forgotten me." Who is Zion? Is Jerusalem. So it's saying YaHuWaH is having compassion on the people, is having compassion on the afflicted one. But Jerusalem is saying YaHuWaH has forsaken me. Verse 15, "Would a woman forget her nursing child and not have compassion on the son of her womb? Though they forget, I never forget you." This is the answer of YaHuWaH. "I will never forget you, Zion, Jerusalem. See, I have inscribed you on the palms of my hands." This is Yahushua. "Your walls are always before me. Your sons shall hurry. Your destroyers and those who lay you waste depart from you. Lift up your eyes round about and see. All of them gather." You know, when the Ruach is coming to the heart, it's quite impossible to continue speaking. "Lift up your eyes round about and see. All of them gather together and come to you." This is the second Exodus. The children of the woman coming to his mother, to Jerusalem. "Come to you, as I live, declares YaHuWaH. You shall put on all of them on an ornament, and bind them on you as a bride does." You see the connection again, the bride of YaHuWaH. "For your wastes and your deserted places, and the land of your destruction shall soon be too narrow for inhabitants, while those who swallowed you up are far away. The sons of your bereavement shall yet say in your ears, the place is too narrow for me. Make room for me to live." You remember we already saw this. The land being expanded beyond the borders because there's so many people coming. "And you shall say in your heart, who has brought forth this for me? Since I am bereaved and barren, and exiled and wandering to and fro. And who reared them? See, I was left alone. From where did this come? Thus said the Master YaHuWaH. See, I lift my hand up to the nations, and set up my banner for the people. This is the Mashiach. He is the banner. And they shall bring your sons in their arms, and your daughters carried on their shoulders. And sovereigns shall be your foster fathers, and their sovereignness your nursing mothers. They bow down to you with their faces to the earth, and lick up the dust of your feet. And you shall know that I am YaHuWaH. Those who wait for me shall not be ashamed. We see the amazing promise to the woman to Zion that is saying, YaHuWaH has forsaken me, is gonna be remembered. YaHuWaH is gonna be redeeming the woman. It's gonna be changing and renewing. The woman is gonna born again. It's gonna be the new Jerusalem, and it's gonna receive her children. We are the children of that woman. We are the children of Jerusalem, and it's gonna be quite easy to see it as we continue in this study. And let's see the last witness. This is in the book of Tehillim. Psalms chapter 87, Tehillim, Psalms chapter 87. This is so amazing as well. It says the following: His foundations is in the Debar mountains. YaHuWaH loves the gates of Zion. It's talking about Jerusalem. More than all the dwellings of Yaakov. Esteemed matters are spoken of you, O city of Elohim. Jerusalem is the city of Elohim. We already saw some witnesses in this study, Selah. I mentioned Rahab and Babel to those who know me. Sea of Philistia and Sor with Cush. This and that one was born there. And listen to this. And of Zion it is said, each one was born in her. For the Most High Himself does establish her. YaHuWaH Elohim is going to establish Zion, is going to establish Jerusalem again. He's going to hide His face for a moment during His wrath, but with His compassion, He's going to have compassion and love in Jerusalem again. He is her Redeemer. And the singers and the players on instrument, all my fountains are in you. You know, it's impossible not to feel this that I'm feeling now in my heart. And for sure you can see it and you can notice in my voice as well. It's so awesome. It's so awesome what YaHuWaH is doing with us. It's so awesome to see His truth. It's also awesome what we belong to. We belong to YaHuWaH, and Jerusalem is that woman, is our mother. I know that maybe it's not clear in some aspect to understand how Jerusalem could be the woman, but it's just only reading the Debar of YaHuWaH that we can see all these promises and how it's related to Jerusalem. Okay.